ready to go to the bird park. I've seen everybody. Morris was in the cat hotel. Not sure. I'll look in a minute if he's out walking around or I need to call him. There you go, Mark. Not that you didn't eat in the house. Stripe is looking good this morning. He was inside and eating and walking around and meowing and doing all his normal Stripe things. I just saw a big bird over the carport flying away from the cardboard. It could have been one of the adult owls. Both the owlets have left the box. So if they're over there behind the carport with the owlets, that's good. Yes, Morris hopped down. Let me call him. Get him to come eat. There he is. I hollered. I did the mom cat holler. He came running. Good boy, good boy. It smells just a little bit like smoke out here. Not super strong, but not clean air either. So we are headed to the bird park today. Sam's house is on the way, so we're picking him up. Rain is expected this afternoon here first, and then northeast where we're headed later. So we might be driving home in it. Hopefully it won't disrupt our day at the park. It is what it is. It's either today at 77 degrees with a chance of rain, or another day well over 80 degrees. I think like Friday's 89 degrees. So besides, Don had cleared his calendar today, so that was better for him. Forgot the camera. She started eating. There you are. You gonna come back up? I startled her when I came back the second time. She didn't know what was going on. There you good girl. Good girl. Say I still get startled in here, Mom. I seem like 100% well-adjusted kitty, but I really am a easily startled kitty. Anything outside of my normal sounds and people and routine is... I hide quick. It's road trip time.
That's right.
You got a shadow on your face from the camera. I'm sorry.
Well, the sun's coming over the roof.
Well, sun is good. Yes. So we just saw one of the adult owls fly this way with 3 crows following. So he probably led them away from the baby. And
hopefully.
Grok assures me pretty much that the owls can handle the crows, except for in very rare instances. So there's nothing I can do. They have to do their thing. But we've got Sylvan Heights Waterfowl Park in Scotland Neck, and our charging today, what we need to do for charging today too. Don's plugged all of that in, and tire pressure is looking really good, and Johnny's in the back, and we're set. We're a go. We're a go.
We're going.
Hey Sam, we're glad you could join us today.
Yep, looking forward to seeing the birds.
Yeah, we were talking about the improvements here and what they have done since the last time we all visited, and so we're getting off onto Highway 64 now. US 64 will be on this for a while, a long time, over to Rocky Mountain beyond. Most of the trip today down east, we call it here, is on this route. But right prior to getting on 64, Ruby went around a truck to the left and then had to get back in front of the truck, and then I had to lane change one more time to get on 64. And it's like, that's the kind of stuff as a driver that I'm just like, I just want to stay behind the truck and then take the exit. But Don's like, oh, I'm glad she got around the truck, and he let her do all of that, and she did it great. So I suppose for me, as my confidence level builds, that she'll get me back over in time. But see, I just don't drive like that, so I don't want the car to drive like that either. Anyway, she did really good back there. She did really good. Have you had to take over other than stopping for Sam?
Stopped at Sam's house, and I guess when I put her in drive to leave Sam's house, I had to touch the accelerator to make her really kind of go. But other than that, I haven't done anything.
Yeah, that dump truck just got over in front of us. I figured she was going to move left.
But we have it standard.
Is that what it is? That is what it is right now.
Yes, it is standard.
I'm just going to tell you, though, I swear sometimes she just changes from one to the other without you changing it. But so you let me know if it stays standard all day, or if you see hurry pop up there sometime or something. I don't know why she wants to get back over right now.
Well, she's getting over it. It says 7/10 of a mile.
We got to take another... Wow, she inserted us in between. Okay. I'll just let Dawn and Ruby drive and try to mind my own business over here. Now we have to get behind the dump truck again. But I don't know that there's any choice, so. Not fair. I call foul. We've got a tire down to 15 PSI, but Dawn was able to safely pull us off the interstate, and we are at a truck stop, and we do have a plug kit and everything. But God, poor Donnie.
Yeah, well.
You know, sometimes women have to take care of stuff, and sometimes men, and it's not fair.
That's right. Well, y'all just sit tight.
Oh, this is supposed to be birthday and Mother's Day. It's not fair.
That's right.
We're safe, though. We're safe. And Stripe was doing good this morning, and I got my kids here, and it's going to be okay.
It'll be okay. We're going to have a good time.
We're too far to get towed to Tesla, though. I can still hear the air leaking out of it. We got 156 miles of charge, so that ain't no worry. So, the good news is Dawn was able to put a plug in the tire. We were able to use our air compressor to get enough air in to move to this bigger air pump. Very lucky that this little station was at this exit on the interstate, or we'd be sitting out in the middle of nowhere. We're technically in Zebulon, but we're not really in Zebulon. We're nowhere close to like real Zebulon. There is a tire shop 2.7 miles down the road. Dawn's putting air in, and we're hoping that it's going to hold. We would be less worried if it wasn't a cut and it was, you know, we had pulled out a real nail, but it was more like a cut in the tire and no piece of metal. So trying to remain calm. So maybe you shouldn't have tire plugs, because that's 3 plugs in 2 years, 2 in Jules and 1 in Ruby now. Ruby's poor tire is basically a brand new tire. Those tires that had all of the previous flats aren't on the car anymore because they were worn out.
Well, the ordeal is not over yet, and we were scheduled to get to Sylvan Heights at 12 o'clock. Right now, so we've wasted, or this has cost us 50 minutes, and we're just going to go down here and have the guy put more air in the tire. I don't have a tire pressure gauge in the car, and so we're checking to make sure it's kind of holding a little bit of air. But what I'm trying to say is this is what I had said, why you want to keep a tire plug kit in the car, is that
right, Johnny?
In an hour you can be back on the road versus waiting for a tow truck.
We went the wrong way.
Okay,
Sorry.
well, I had a 50-50 shot. You got all these people giving me directions. Nobody told me which way.
We didn't add it to Ruby's screen. It's
all
okay. Well, we're trying to test it a little bit while we're still not out on interstate speeds.
If you've already seen it drop down to 41.
No, I haven't. I'm looking. It's still at 42 according to the app.
As a matter of fact, it ought to go up. The tire
as it gets warmer. Yeah. Well, it's not gone down. We've gone 10 miles and the tire is holding air. It went down to 47 briefly and then back up to 40. It was 48, 47, 48. It warmed up a bit now. So, but Don and I were eating our snack. I just hand Don a piece of food or put it in his mouth, and he, you know, prosciutto, mozzarella stuff. And all of a sudden, Don goes, "What's going on with Ruby?" She was going back and forth in the lane.
She was like drunk.
Yeah, like drunk. And we've seen that a time or two before, so that wasn't like a serious. And by the time Don, you know, alerted me to that and I was paying attention to it, is when I noticed the yellow emblem up here, and I go, "Oh God, it's a tire." I probably were a few other words that came out. I don't know. I'm so emotionally drained right now from everything from the past 2 or 3 weeks. I don't think I quite had the string of New Jersey girl that I normally would have. I was just like, and then we happened to be right at an exit, so Don took the exit, and then that little convenience store or truck stop was right there at the exit basically. So we were, you know, we were pulled over by the time it was down to 15 PSI. But will you stop making her make noises over there while I'm videoing?
Yeah, the only thing I probably, looking back, should have done different is I parked where there was plenty of room and space, and it wouldn't be a problem getting a tow truck in there or whatever was necessary, and it wasn't in front of their business, you know, it was off to the side. I should have looked for the air pump and then parked close enough to
closest to the air pump
that we could have used their air pump But then that would have cost me $3 because I would have used the air pump to put air enough in the tire to find the leak. Because we did that with the little pump. And then the next thing, I would have plugged the tire and then put more air in the tire. It runs out after 4 minutes, so you only get 4-minute window. So it would have cost me $3. It cost me $1.50 in air already. And so, you know, lesson is test your little pump, make sure you're happy with its performance. And I would recommend watch Project Farm on YouTube. He tested these 12-volt air compressors, and I bought the one that he recommended, which was the one from Harbor Freight. It depends on what your price sensitivity ratio is.
Right.
Because it's a little bit more expensive. It actually isn't the cheapest one. The one I got in here is the cheapest one. I think I paid like $10 for it.
Yeah. Let's not even donate it to Guardian Angel.
No. We'll put this in the recycle center up there.
A recycle center, yeah. Somebody can have it for free, but let's not make somebody else pay $8 for it or something.
Correct.
So Don, because we thought we might run into rain, had a spare shirt.
Yes.
Happened to be this black Star Wars shirt. So he was able to change out of his white shirt. And I carry one of those picnic blankets that has fabric on one side and a canvas on the other side. So it's sort of waterproof.
Yeah.
And in a ball, it's good for or folded, it's good for your knees, and out flat, it's good for lying on. So when you're, you know, making the Don and Marianne tire repair kit for your car, because Don's already said, hey, buy these plugs and you need this screwdriver and you need this other tool just to make sure you really can put the plug in.
Yeah.
Make sure to have the little picnic blanket thing for knees, and you know, it's just other stuff too, you know, it's good.
Yeah. And the last thing I would say,
Don would not normally have on shorts, except for we're out recreating today.
That's
so
right. Make sure you have a razor. For some reason, I don't have a razor knife, one of those retractable razor knives. So I had to cut the plug off with my pocket knife, which wasn't hard, except for now I have black gooey stuff on my
you
pocket
need
knife.
Goo Be Gone to clean your...
Goo Be Gone to get it off my pocket knife.
Right. Don had bought those disposable...
Right.
It's a box cutter, but they're disposable.
Yes.
So you just buy a whole pack of them, and then you leave them wherever you might need a box cutter. And then if you lose it, you don't have to cry over it. And
it has the ones where you break off the little tips and you get a new tip.
a new tip, yeah. And I might say it's a little lower profile for having in the car. It's not as heavy and not as big, so...
And then the other thing you need is an actual air pressure gauge.
Yeah.
Because that little air pump at that service station, they had no way to measure the air pressure. So I guessed, and the guy, he checked and he said I had 42 pounds in there. And I told him to put it at 44, and it ended up at 48. So I don't know, but the point is, we put plenty of air in the tire.
Yeah, you guys pull for us that, you know, we go to the bird park and then leave the bird park and get home and don't have any more issues today. That would be really nice. I need a stress, anxiety, trauma, I need a pain-free day, and I thought that was going to be today, but there's always tomorrow.
That's right.
As long
Shopping
as Stripe was eating, complaining, affectionate, and normal this morning, and I did leave him outside because I think that that's okay to do, and you know, so that's a relief. But you know, I don't need more trauma. I'm trying to get over trauma and go back to even keel, and I'm having a little trouble right now. We just turned on to 258 off of 97. We're about 10 miles from Sylvan Heights. As you can see, it's a beautiful sky day right now. There is some rain just starting to come into the Raleigh area. Hopefully we'll have a couple of dry hours to walk the park and feed the birds at the bird feeding station. That closes from 1 until 2, but we should be able to hit that up at 2 o'clock. I always enjoy this scenic country road. It's very rural out here. And this road never fails to have interest at any time of the year.
Yeah.
Just pretty views and pretty countryside. In the fall, there's cotton in the fields, and if we come in October, they're usually harvesting the cotton, and there'll be white fuzz all along the road, and slow-moving trailers filled with the cotton, and sometimes tobacco. I've seen tobacco. You know, they rotate what they're growing, so it can vary a little bit, but
Yeah, this is big agriculture.
yeah, I'm not making Don stop to take pictures of barns today, but I've basically stopped to take a picture of every barn in this 10-mile stretch of road. There are some really nice ones along here. Yeah, Scotland Neck gives rural North Carolina small town a definite vibe here.
Yeah, I agree.
Where life is a little calmer.
Yeah. I love the parking in the center of the street.
Yeah.
Road, yeah.
There are some really nice older buildings and homes along the side as we come through. Although to see my favorite house, we have to go one street over. Maybe on the way out, we'll see if it's raining or not. And this is old school Southern homes at their finest here. Well, we're here. The tire is holding its own at 49 psi, so we're going to have us a good time. I think we've got at least a couple hours before we have to worry about the showers kicking in. There's the incubator up front, and there's 3 in there. I guess they look like some sort of duck to me, but usually the nice lady, if she's out here, she tells us what they are, and when the kids were smaller, she would sometimes let them hold one of them, and very nice. Flamingos! This is not the animals, the birds that used to be here. The flamingos were in a different exhibit, but they do move stuff around as appropriate here, so. And there are other ducks and waterfowl in here, and turtles, big turtles. You see the big turtles? American flamingo, red-crested pochard, hooded merganser. Those are some of my favorites. Hottentot teal. I think that's the guy I saw with the teal on his bill. Cinnamon teal, common shell duck, North American ruddy duck. I mean, there's just a lot of guys. But yeah, I think I want to go try to take a picture of this guy. He's really pretty with the teal beak. And Duke Energy is a sponsor.
Begin. We're here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all lining up.
Right, for my ducks in a row. I need all my ducks in a row pictures. That's right. And, you know, they might have been teasing me a little bit about the number of photos they knew I was going to take while I was here.
One little bit.
Not at all. Well, heading 6,800 to now.
Okay, well, I usually, let's be serious, today's probably a 300 photo day.
Oh.
But in groups of 10, it's really not that bad. And here's somebody's in the shade and wants caffeine, needs caffeine. Well, I would have packed caffeine if you'd have warned me. I have always admired the plant baskets and pots and things here. They do a really nice job, like they do at our zoo with putting in lots of flowers and things. Yeah, the breeze is appreciated today. I told the boys they don't know how lucky they are we didn't reschedule to Friday when it's going to be 90. Wow, Johnny's really close to this bird. Some of them are more shy than others. We'll see if we see Matilda today. She's like one more pen to the right. These are African birds here. Obviously, it says Africa up there.
So is this what they're going to use ice cars for in the future? They don't need spark plugs anymore, so they make teeth out of them for artwork.
Pretty cool. Guy art for sure.
Guy art for sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
we got a pinion here.
There's two of them, and
Yeah.
they're fairly similar.
I bet them suckers, they don't have to worry about those walking off.
Nope, I bet it weighs a bit. Here's our first Victoria crowned pigeon of the day. There will be several here to say hi to. Hi, bud.
I think we should reenact it.
I'll
pass. Oh, come on, Sam. Did you see those before and after pictures?
Oh, is that where your mate is with the birds, with the babies back there? They said not to go farther than this point. There's nesting happening. Well, we certainly want more Victoria crowned pigeons, so. There's usually a couple of those in the feeding. Oh, look, this guy up here in the box. So what's this bird, since you've got the fact sheet?
Oh, he's pretty.
A yellow parakeet looking thing. Is it on the back side?
Yes, it's a plum-headed parakeet.
Okay. Looks like there are quite a few Victoria crowned pigeons in here.
Oh, look, we got to get us a branch like that for our owl box.
Right.
Up there.
Oh yeah, well see, look at the holder thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've saw the Cornell box with a little more branch stuff going on around it, and we're thinking we might embellish.
One up on the bird box.
Oh yeah, okay.
There's a bunch under that bush over there.
I'm glad I don't have to do pond filter maintenance here. All the fountain and the bird bath maintenance daily is enough for me. Yeah, I don't know.
He's sitting on the net, you would think it would be a sheep.
So everything here is on the honor system, where you go through a series of into a lock and let the door close behind you, and then you can go into space where the birds are. You never leave any gates open. So it is good for children to have supervision, but they do a lot of field trips here, and that's the, you know. Now this bird's just implying it's hot.
That's correct. I believe
That's all this bird is doing, is hello and I'm hot. Hot here in the North Carolina sun, and they have ligustrum blooming in this area. Hi. Hello. So this is the cousin to the blue jay and the scrub jay, I guess. He is a white-throated magpie jay. And he literally just looks like a giant blue jay. Hi, guys. Hi. Yeah, I am really liking these big flower pots, and I'm sure the flower pot this size probably puts the fear of God in Don. You'll be glad to know, Donnie, you'll be glad to know Mr. Maple yesterday did not put Autumn Moon in the 10 for Tuesday. But I'll be checking out the 10 for Thursday.
Oh, of course.
They did put up a moon, but it's just not the moon variety that I want. It turns green in the summer. The one I want has multiple orange and yellow tones. Oh, so this is the kookaburra. Oh, wow, you did get a really good picture.
Yeah.
Awesome. That might be your best picture of the day. Hi, buddy. Hi. Hi. Hello there. You guys could start making your kookaburra noise. It sound better than your neighbor. Look at the oak leaf hydrangea. Wow, I need to go check out mine, especially before somebody eats it. Very pretty. I love this tree. I really do. Of course, there's more than one kind of oak leaf, but you get the gist. It's always, well, I think it's always white flowers, and then these leaves turn that really pretty leathery color in the fall. I want to see the butterfly winged bird, moth butterfly. It's a sun bittern.
Here, take my picture.
Okay. I love you. I don't like your photography AI assistant. You have the real McCoy.
I agree. My real McCoy is much better.
But we found the toucan, so Sam's visit is complete now.
Yeah, I'm going to get a picture of me and Sam.
This is an African eagle. I'm going to say not quite as big as the American bald eagle, but very similar. Honey, here's a variety of fern we don't have in our woods. We have a similar one, but not exactly this one.
There's a lot of
This is just a wetland bridge. It's just kind of fun to cross. If you're really lucky while you're going across, a snake will slither on by. Just kidding. No, I thought this was a real duck. This has got to be a display. It's a display, Donnie. Ah, nice try, though. It did fake me out for a minute. Yeah, research work goes on back here. But you can come down the over the bridge and just enjoy the walk here. I never lost a kid over the rail. It was close though, a couple of crocs or something. There's a lot of jewelweed here getting ready to bloom, but it's not blooming yet. And do you remember the time we were here and the peacock was outside of his enclosure?
I do.
And the feathers, I have this beautiful picture of him right here. He just opened up. I guess it's the males. The males has the feathers, right? Yeah, he was just out here in the walkway loose and he just opened up his feathers and it was like the most beautiful thing I have ever seen. And especially that close. Hi. Hello, you are a sight to behold. Look at how pretty you are. Hi, they do sell feathers from these guys when they lose them at the visitor center. You can get feathers. Hi.
So the joke goes, you know what they call the female?
Are you in trouble for
No,
whatever
not
you're
a
going to
bit.
say?
So that's a peacock. That's a pekin.
Didn't like that one.
Hi. Hello. You're so pretty. We see these signs everywhere about invasive plants. Always mentioning Chinese privet. There's other stuff as well. Native, the jewelweed is a good thing. The Virginia iris is a good thing. But yeah, she's definitely hauling out privet. This is the jewelweed. Well, you have privet removal experience.
I do.
So
I'm an experienced privet remover.
I mean, our yard is a
Haven.
well, I was going to say it's a gem of what restoration can look like
Right.
because we have really pretty much eradicated the privet.
Yeah, if you stay on it,
Yep, but we do have to stay on it.
don't cut it, you pull it.
Oh God, don't ever. So one of the things I planted that's a native in the yard, I think this is pepper bush. That thing with the white flowers is a butterfly and bee attractant. That's one of the ones I ordered from that Etsy shop. That was like native North Carolina stuff. And it doesn't get super big, but it's important in a native North Carolina habitat. So anyway, ours is alive and doing well is all I was trying to say.
So how come we don't got no jewelweed?
I don't know. This is all jewelweed. I really want jewelweed. I love jewelweed. It looks like little miniature orange orchids, and it's like my favorite native plant / wildflower. Well, this mandarin duck, I think, is my favorite bird in the entire park as far as feather colors, and I don't know. It's just absolutely one of my favorites. He's similar to the American wood duck in coloring, but not quite. And more flamingos, and they are gorgeous, of course. Has some nice reflection in the mucky water here, but the scarlet ibis is in this enclosure, and they are always a fan favorite. And the macaw, he's always here on this perch. Yeah. Hi. Hi. Hello. Hello. Hi.
Hello.
Our family, we have to try to engage the birds. So here's where they have the big gala events and wine and dine people that might donate money to help keep this place going. I guess it probably keeps going on its own, but help expand it even more, which they are all the time expanding it. We're going to go up to the feeding station, and then assuming it's not raining, we'll walk out that way a bit. Johnny waited so patiently to get caffeine, and they're closed.
Oh no.
When do they reopen? Not today? She didn't tell us that. I don't remember her saying that it was closing. Oh no. Here's more guy art, recycled art, bird art. There's some pretty cool pieces, I have to say. I'm laughing. It has like golf club ends on it for the feathers. It's pretty neat. I like it.
She says I can't go until I get rid of the bird.
I think we can encourage them to leave the hat. Yeah, you're very popular today. Did you know you were this popular with birds? Cats and birds, they love you.
Yeah, bird brains. We stick together.
And we did buy the membership, and we are going to come back and see Penguin Point when it opens. It's supposed to open later this year, but like there's nothing actually happened here yet.
It'd be nice to have a Penguin Point here.
I know, but I'm just saying it's not actually open yet, though. I mean, they haven't actually broke ground. I thought later this year meant like, wow, that was going to happen. That was already moving in that direction, I guess. I don't know. I don't remember this building, whatever this is, down in there. I don't remember that at all. It's a beaver blind. And this is as quiet as we've ever been with the kids approaching. They would go in there and I would be trying to look for wildlife, and they'd be smacking the little covers and the walls and screaming and chasing each other and running in and out and doing all those things kids do. Yes. And you know, whichever hole one of them wanted to look out of, the other would insist was the only one they could possibly see out of. And all that fun stuff. Those were the days. And it's raining just a little bit. So there's a pair of rhinoceros hornbills in here. I love the hornbills. There must have been 4 or 5 different species here today. This enclosure to me, I'm pretty sure it's new. And you know, here's the outdoor eating area pavilion. Toad Hall is what it's called. And they've put in some cranes there, and they're working on enhancing the path from the beaver blind over to this side. So I thought they had started the penguin thing. Maybe they're still raising funds. We're going to ask on the way out if they've got a groundbreaking date for it or whatever. And this is the gazebo where we always played a version of red light, green light, hide and go seek, whatever you wanted to call it. Some fun game with Miss Michelle and her kids. When we started coming down here 15, 20 years ago, the house had been newly renovated and painted, and it was just ready to move in. And now it's just a bit more worn. It just needs a paint job on the outside. Hopefully the inside is still in great shape.
Yeah, well, that house is continuously needs paint.
Yeah. But I love that house. I like everything about it.
Yeah, it's a unique house, there's no doubt.
Yeah. Very nice. Well, the tile roof's holding up well.
Yeah, and I noticed it's got copper. Two parts of the porch with copper.
Yeah. Well, we're heading out of Scotland Neck. It's 3:40 p.m. We were able to do everything we wanted to do and walked the entire park, and especially enjoyed feeding the birds.
Yeah.
And we got to the car just when it started to rain, and the right rear, passenger rear tire was still fully inflated.
Yeah.
So we are starting to head back. We do need to supercharge for, it says 18 minutes. So let's just say a 15-minute supercharge. And we're going to get Smithfield's Chicken and Barbecue at one of the exits on the way back too. Well, there's a new Quicksilver Y with white interior. Not the right wheels though.
No, the right wheels, that's right.
Poor Don's going to have to plug in the rain.
Elon, put a canopy up.
Well, if you had taken us to Halifax to the Oasis, you'd have a canopy.
Yeah.
And a solar panel. in Rocky Mount where the supercharger numbering makes no sense. And if you leave a space between you and the other person, you're probably charging with them.
That's right.
So this Model S was over here and we left the space and we plugged in and we were doing 50 kilowatts at 39 miles left of range and wondering what the heck was going on. And now that Don got out in the rain and moved us over, we're at 113 kilowatts. So it was worth getting out for. We were going to be here longer than needed. And the Quicksilver Y, yes, just sit and admire the... Several minutes later, we're still charging at 113 kilowatts, but this popped up all of a sudden on the screen. This is not where we're plugged in now, though.
Yeah.
Just want you to know that Dawn got out and plugged in the lady next to us. Poor thing. She plugged in, she backed in over here and it gave her the message it was closed.
Right.
She went to the pull-in over here and it's in the biggest puddle you've ever seen in your life. She tried to park, the Model S is left. She tried to park down on the end and we rolled down the window and said, this is misnumbered over here, we'll be sharing. Move over one more. She moved over. I was really nice super sweet how I said it. And then Don jumped out and plugged her in. So she's charging, but she's not wet. If she waits 10 or 15 minutes, it should stop.
Right.
But now there's another guy going down in on the end and we're gonna be sharing with him. And it's nobody's fault, it's pretty full over here.
Yeah, 113 right now. But we only have 5 minutes left. So, you know,
Right.
it'll double it now to 10 minutes.
Yeah, well, like I told Don, right now I don't really want to be out in the interstate anyway. So if we just sit in here and we're still actually charging and putting something in, it's good. So this is when they say it's raining in sheets. This is what they mean, sheets of rain. I mean, it's significant. No hail though. As long as we don't have hail, I'm calm. Ruby needed a bath. Ruby will be much cleaner. Well, it's just like old times, a road trip and a stop at Smithfield's Chicken and Barbecue.